Hello and welcome to the FPL Talk channel. In today's video, we're taking a look at the best captain options for you to use. Starting off looking at the fixtures in game week 1 so you can maximise them points. I'm going to show you different options and obviously you can select whichever you like. And then after that, we're going to look at some rotational strategies between some premium assets, again, to maximise the captain points. And this is going to be where you have one player who has a worse fixture this week and then one player who has a better fixture. And then it'll swap each week all the way up to game week 8. So you don't have to worry about transferring out players. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So the first player I'm going to recommend you go for is Erling Haaland. Now, he's moving to Man City with a massive reputation, as you already know, but this obviously is for a reason. Now, I can see him scoring loads of goals for Man City. However, he does have a long list of injuries, but I think it's worth still getting him in because even if he gets injured, it'll be like priced at 11.5 mil, 12 million probably. And because of that high price, if he does get injured, it makes it easy for you to drop down to another player. So I would definitely have him in there and look at captaining him in the first few weeks. Now, in 52 Bundesliga games, as you can see on your screen, he scored 39 goals and got 13 assists, so he can still link up the play, and obviously he is a physical player, which you much need for the Premier League. And if we keep looking down that list, in how many games? 11 appearances in the Champions League, he scored 13 goals. Now, you could call the Bundesliga an easier league, but in the Champions League, you know, it's well hard. Even Man City can't win the Champions League, but they might now with Haaland. But those numbers are just absolutely ridiculous. And if we jump across here and look at his fixtures for the first few weeks, as you can see on your screen there, Man City right here. They've got West Ham, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Palace, Forest, Villa. And I would say in at least, 4 of them, you could easily captain him and hope to get some returns. And if you're looking at someone different in midfield, you could get De Bruyne because he is probably going to be assisting Haaland in the box, and he can obviously score loads of goals. Look how De Bruyne took the game by the scruff of the neck versus Wolves at the end of the season. That was a ridiculous game for him. So Man City premiums are definitely must-haves. If I was picking one from them, I'd go for Haaland, and I would definitely look at captaining him in the first few weeks. So the next player pretty much goes without saying. He was the highest scoring FPL player last year. It is Mohamed Salah. Now, pretty much you've got to have Mohamed Salah in. There's no point in trying to be clever and going for someone else. Like last year, a few people went for Mane instead. It's not worth it. You just know Salah's on penalties. He's going to get these returns. And look, last season, in 35 games, he scored 23 goals. And he always gets around 20 goals a season still, consistently. But this is if he doesn't leave, because there have been rumours Mo Salah could actually leave the club, but I very much doubt he would. If then we jump over to their fixtures, which as you can see are here, they've got Fulham, Crystal Palace, United, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Everton, Wolves. If you compare them to Man City just below, I would more favour captaining Salah on the first week as it's against a newly promoted team, which is obviously easier than Man City, who are playing West Ham, who, are my club, but obviously, if you're playing Man City, it's always going to be a struggle. However, I would favour that Liverpool fixture over the Man City one. So, first game week, I'm thinking I'm going to captain Mo Salah over Haaland, which is a tough one. But if you get both premiums in of Salah and Haaland, look at the second game week. You can then captain Haaland versus Bournemouth, while you still have Salah versus Crystal Palace. And the thing that's making me even more lean towards having Mo Salah as captain in the first game week, as this is a graphic posted by Holly Shand on Twitter, is look at Mo Salah's game week ones in the past 5 seasons. He's got 17 points, 20 points, 17 points, 20 points, 12 points, 8 points, and 10 points. That is ridiculous numbers. He's got a 100% record of returning in the past 5 game week ones. So if this graphic is not going to make you captain Salah, I honestly don't know what will, because they are absolutely obscene numbers. So the next player we're going to take a look at is right underneath me. It is Heung-min Son. Now, he was absolutely incredible last season. Ridiculous numbers, and when he came back from injury after game week 24, he had the highest goals and assists out of any player in the league. So this is definitely one who you should have in your team. Now, I think the debate is between if you should have Kane and Son, or you just literally go Son or Kane, because I think 3 premiums is the most you can probably squeeze into the team when you consider how valuable defenders actually are this year. So it's either going to be Kane, Haaland, Salah, or Son, Haaland, Salah for me, in my opinion. And I'm slightly leaning towards Son more, just because he gets the clean sheet bonus, which is 1 extra point, obviously, and he does get the extra points for the goal. He gets just slightly more than the attacker. So I am leaning towards Son. If we then scroll down here and take a look at his stats last season, his FPL price was 11.2. I imagine that's going to rise, obviously, with him being joint Golden Boot winner. He starts every game. As you can see there, how many times was he subbed off? 15 times, probably just towards the end of the game to save him. He's never been subbed on, so he pretty much starts every single game. 21 goals and 7 assists. Crazy numbers for Son in this season. And then 17 clean sheets. When I'm on about that 1 point bonus, that's then 17 points that Kane isn't getting from the striker position. So I am leaning towards Son a bit more, as you can tell. If we then scroll down a bit further, as you can see, his shots that are expected, he has an XG of 14.2, and his assist XG is 5.62. So he's got very good numbers. If we go and take a look at his fixtures now, and we head back to the fixture sheet, Spurs' start is actually very nice, and because they start the season strongly, you can see Son getting a few returns, and additionally, they've strengthened their team very well, have Spurs. Here we are at the ticker now. As you can see, Spurs are at the bottom there. They start with, you might not be able to see that. You should see that now. There they are, just there. They have Southampton, Chelsea, Wolves, Forest, West Ham, Fulham, which is a very nice start. Obviously with the additions of Perisic, Jed Spence. They're also looking at a few other players heavily linked with Richarlison. So they're all about that squad depth, and in these fixtures, if under Conte, if Spurs start strongly, I feel like Son's going to be at the head of it, so I'll definitely put Son in your team. One quick one I would say is, if you want a differential, Arsenal are playing Crystal Palace at the very top of the list there in the first game week. Now, if you are feeling ambitious, you could captain Gabriel Jesus. He's someone I want to quickly speak about because he signed from Man City to Arsenal and it is confirmed. Gabriel Jesus, we saw some of the numbers he produced at the end of the season. It was like he didn't want to join Arsenal and wanted to stay at City, scoring 4 goals in 1 game. He also scored against Real Madrid in the Champions League. Now, Arsenal assets are very good in the first 5 game weeks. After that, they're a bit, they're looking a bit dodgy because of the fixtures. But Saka and Jesus are looking like very good players that you could have in your team. And Gabriel Jesus is probably only going to come in at about 9.5 million, maybe 10 if FPL are feeling a bit cruel, but I doubt they will be. Jesus, I feel like I'm going to slot next to Haaland up front and then have a more budget player. And Saka, depending on his price, I might put next to Salah and Son in midfield. That is yet to be seen. This is going to be a very expensive year of FPL. There's a lot more good players joining into the Premier League and a lot of players that had good seasons last year whose price is only going to be upped. So it's going to be hard to make our team this year, but I'm sure we'll manage. As I say, Jesus and Saka are the ones I'd watch from Arsenal, and ones you could potentially captain when they get a good fixture, such as versus Bournemouth or Fulham in game weeks 3 and 4. So this is again produced by Holly Shand and posted by The Athletic UK. This is the final part of the video where we're looking at the FPL Matrix from game week 1 to game week 8 next season. As you can see, the 3 teams that are used are Liverpool, Tottenham and Man City. You can see De Bruyne there and Son. You can obviously have Kane and Haaland, whichever one you're feeling like. And it just gives you loads of options really if you have a player from each of these 2 teams, a premium asset. Look at game week 3, game week 4 and game week 6. There's 3 easy, well no game's easy, but relatively easy fixtures in those game weeks, and whichever player's in form, you can just pick between. It's happy days for you. Whichever player's in the best form, you can just captain. It's a great choice to have. Now obviously I feel like Liverpool and Man City assets are the best to have. If you can try and have one midfielder, 1 attacker and 1 defender from each of these teams, they're always going to dominate in any game they play. The big clubs, I know you might feel like the differentials of, I don't know what team you could go for, a Brighton or like a Crystal Palace or a Villa player could be better because they're cheaper in the budget. They're just not going to return as well as these players are. I think Joel Matip had incredible numbers last year from centre-back, and that's despite, not getting many attacking returns. But the volume of clean sheets Liverpool achieve just show the dominance of they have over the Premier League with Man City. So this fixture is for you to use at your own will, this graphic. Obviously today we've looked at some captain options you could choose, and for the long term as well. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have, please drop a like on the video and subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next one.